Alright, welcome to our table talk. We found Big Mike. He just magically appeared. He's back.
What up?
He's back. We thought you died, man. Like, we didn't know you were MIA. We put out some, like, SOSs and shit for you, and, like, you were just going.
I mean, I did go home to Youngstown, you know. You never know what happens in Youngstown. Given that I'm not Italian, you know, I love Italians and Italian food, but, you know, I'm not Italian. Sometimes I go home, it's a little risky, you know, we're the capital of the world at 91.
Yeah.
Not really sure, but I'm okay.
A little sketchy?
Just a little.
Did you run into the mob? Like, physically run into them or, like, fight them?
They ran into me.
Oh. Got shut down, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Alright, so today, we left off last time with injuries. That was a really big one. Obviously, we had a whole crew here. A lot of different things going on. Today, we're going to talk about different types of training, specifically functional training. That's something you hear a ton in the industry. What is it? What do you think? What is your take on that? You hear me say it all the time.
All the time.
What do you think?
It honestly gets annoying. He like repeats himself and stuff. I'm like, dude, look.
It's hard to hear.
You might want to get that tick checked out. You know?
Preach it.
Fuck freaking.
Preach it required.
Well, so I think it's a great idea, to be honest, and it all depends what you want to get out of your workouts. So if you're the kind of person who wants to have all your workouts be like 100% functional training, kind of like Ben. I mean, he's obviously in here doing stuff that's like going to be replicated out in the outside world. He's here doing stretches, he's here doing calisthenics, you know, I don't know what his family life looks like, but frankly, you're not gonna deadlift and power lift or do all those types of things if all you want to do is be a family man.
Yeah.
However, for myself, powerlifting is a hobby. I think I'm built for it, so like, why would I not do it?
Yeah.
But if you have limited time, if you don't like working out and you just want to have enough muscle, have enough cardio to live life, live long, and live efficiently and effectively in whatever your lot is, yeah, functional training is great.
So are you gonna say you're gonna die early?
I might. if I keep this saturated fat and cholesterol intake going, yeah, I might. Or I'll need new knees by the time I'm 50. We'll see.
Yeah. No, like so you kind of touched a lot on it. Functional training, I think there's several different definitions in the industry. I really do. So I would say you have like almost like the Instagram fitness influencer like workout that like is complete BS. Like you see the girls like with the damn hip circle like doing like the external rotations of the hip and like, you know, like the clamshells and like the little like booty kickbacks and everything. Like, yeah, look at my butt, like it's so great or whatever. I'm like, that is definitely not how you got that, you know? But they sell these programs and they sell these things, and that's not realistically how that even occurs, right? So, you know, you mentioned powerlifting, squatting, deadlifting, and benching, right? Everything that you pretty much do on a daily basis, you're probably doing that. If you have kids, you're squatting down to pick them up. You're hinging in some way, shape, or form, and then ultimately, like, I mean, you gotta close your door, you gotta open your door, right? So,
yeah,
they're not saying that like you only have to do those three types of movements, but there's variations of them, right?
Oh yeah.
And that's kind of where, you know, my definition of it is almost like if you can't use it in a street fight, like you probably shouldn't do it, right? And I'm not saying that like, you know, oh, well, you know, doing bicep curls is bad or doing this is bad, because there's a time and a place for everything. But, you know, if it doesn't correlate to everything that you're doing in your daily life, so picking up kids, closing doors, picking up boxes, if your buddy's like, hey, I gotta move, and you're the person that's like, yeah, hold on, let me like fix my bit. You know what I mean? Like, you should be able to move. Like you mentioned, Ben. One of our members here, longtime friend of mine, literally lunges like a quarter mile a day. Shout out to Corey G for the lunge every day. That's awesome. I did it for an extended amount of time. It's great. If you guys want to work on your conditioning and like just really help your knee stability and like a different type of cardio that's a lower impact than running and stuff, definitely give that a go. You will get in shape for sure. But anyway, that's a side topic. No, but Ben, doing all those calisthenics and doing that type of stuff, I mean, it is a very, very high calorie burn. I would definitely say that is a form of functional training. I wouldn't say that that's the end all be all, but I mean, he does awesome with what he does.
Oh, yeah.
You know, and still, though he's not lifting a lot of weight like with bars and stuff like that, he is still a pretty strong person.
Well, though he used to do that.
Yeah. So, quick backstory. He was very athletic, basketball player in college, gained a ton of weight, like very like powerlifter, like strongman-ish, and then lost 100 plus pounds, and then is where he's at today. Maybe we'll have him on sometime.
Oh yeah, for sure. And you should have him do his stretch, show at least one of his stretches.
Yeah.
It's amazing. I
Yeah.
mean, this guy's flexibility is out through the roof.
We're definitely gonna get him in here. We'll like put like a little clip or whatever of him like doing this on the thing so you guys can see. He's awesome, great person, works his butt off, and yeah, he's definitely got an interesting take when it comes to training.
Oh yeah.
So
You raised a good point with him too. So I think the issue a lot of people run into, which I have also myself, is I think exercising is like a spectrum. You know, there are times when you want to do the powerlifting kind of stuff because you're like, you know, in this area of my life, I want to utilize all my muscles. I want to gain weight. I want to be as strong as possible. On the other side of the spectrum, it's like, well, let me not forget about stretching, being mobile, being just able to do everyday kind of things as opposed to being just some meat hunk, you know. So I think it's a spectrum, and the more you go through that cycle of, let's just say high reps, low weight, low reps, high weight, the more you go through that cycle, I think the more balanced you'll be as an individual.
yeah.
And you know, it doesn't mean you have to do that like every day, that cycle. It's more like maybe a year, or maybe 2 years, or 6 months, something like that.
Yeah, no, and I agree. It's just I'll even use training athletes for instance. When you like, regardless of what sport you play, you don't train the exact same way all the time. Let's face it. In the off season, you're probably gonna want to get stronger. You're probably gonna want to put a little bit of size, right, to carry you through the season. When you actually get into season, you're not gonna be going for 1 rep maxes and everything else. Though some trainers will have you do that. I personally don't agree with that. I mean, you're risking injury. You're practicing for hours a day, a lot of repeated movements. Stuff's gonna be tight. Other things are not. So if the antagonist muscle group is tight, like your hip flexors or your quads, when you're going to squat or deadlift, good luck getting out of the hole. Just like yesterday when you went for the max, right? So it's all different based on what it is you're doing, right? And there's a different cycle of life that you had kind of mentioned. So there's not an end all be all, essentially. There's a very well-rounded approach that you should take to your training. So that's kind of what I believe functional training is.
Right. Another thing is, I don't think, not only do those things apply to different like cycles in your life, but also different seasons. And what I mean by that is, you know, all right, I'm about 30. I'm gonna try to powerlift. I'm gonna say the calisthenics when I'm like 60.
Yeah.
Because it just makes more sense. It's kind of like the in-season, off-season. Right now, I'm in season. I'm in my prime. Like, I'm not gonna just do cardio and only do calisthenics. I'm gonna make sure I'm hitting the things I can hit while I'm this age.
Yeah.
As opposed to when I'm 60, 70, I'm like, well, you know, I might do a squat when I'm 60 or 70. We'll see.
Yeah.
You know, not heavy at least.
Yeah. And I mean, and I think that's a lot of it too. Like I always kind of joke, like after 30, like I'm done, like hitting, like going for like 500 and stuff like that. No, it just beats your joints up, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you look at a lot of these guys from West Side that have had double shoulder replacements, double hip replacements, torn nearly every muscle off the bone. You know, it kind of gets a little crazy. It's like, when is enough? But you know, that's their sport, that's their dedication.
Yeah.
So there's a time and a place for everything, guys. There is a time and a place for whatever it is type of training you would like to do. But like I said, that's your choice based on the results you want to get. You kind of have to figure out what's going to work for you. But small pieces of each type of training is really what's going to get you to your end goal. Okay? Hopefully that made sense. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this. This is something that has been a hot topic in the industry for a while. So like I said, check this out. Give us your feedback. Like, comment, subscribe. Give us feedback in the comments. Let us know what you guys want to see, if you liked it, if you didn't like it, so we can make it better for you. Mike and I are always happy to adjust and give you our take on things. So thank you guys. Until next time.